Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world.
Today on The Real Female Entrepreneurs, we're talking transformation with a coach who walks the talk and helps thousands of women do the same. She's a top ranked podcast host, a powerhouse speaker, and the creator of Transformation for Real, a life changing system that helps high achieving women move from chaos to clarity with confidence. From corporate life to coaching greatness, from Ohio to LA. Oh my God, look at the tan. I'm jealous. Her journey is proof that the real change starts within. She's bold, brilliant, and always lifting others up. Help me give a warm, amazing welcome to the fabulous, fearless, and fiercely inspiring Lisa Callahan. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what an intro. Thank you.
We are
I receive all of it.
please, please. 'Cause that's one of my gifts is lifting people up and
I
promoting
love
them.
it. I love it.
And so that's what I want to do. Okay. So doing what you do, something had to happen in your life to get you to become the entrepreneur you are, have the podcast show, be the amazing coach you are, build the system that you built. Can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, it's funny because on one hand I look back and I think, well, the time turned into an entrepreneur when we moved from Chicago to LA. So I grew up in Ohio, lived in Chicago for 20 years, and then moved to LA 8 years ago. Um, and yet I look back and my coaching career really started when I was in Chicago. I worked for Weight Watchers for 14 years, and that was really my first while I'd always been that person that supported people, all of my jobs had always sort of been in customer service. That was the first moment where I was getting to have an opportunity to work with somebody first one-on-one kind of at the scale. So there was like this little miniature coaching session at a weigh-in. And then when I became a Weight Watchers leader, I was facilitating a group. And I really loved helping people reach their goals in a way that was sustainable. It wasn't, we all wanted to change yesterday, but I learned through my own experience of losing weight as well as then supporting other people that it was this like small steps is sustainable, which means you're going to reach these goals and keep them for a long time. And then when we decided to move to Los Angeles, I was just kind of done working in corporate. And as much as I loved my members and I loved my job at Weight Watchers, I thought, I don't want to do that when I get out here. I want to kind of try a fresh start. And so I went ahead, and that's when I got my coaching certifications through the Health Coach Institute and opened up Transformation for Real in November of 2017. So it was kind of, I was getting my training as well as opening my own practice. And then I actually got hired by the Health Coach Institute to coach their students as well. So I was working a job coaching, and then I was also building my business at the same time.
And moving.
And moving. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was a lot.
And around teenage.
Yeah, 2 teenagers. Well, we were moving between my son's freshman and sophomore year in high school and my daughter's 5th and 6th grade. And so absolutely, that was traumatic. They loved LA on vacation. When I said we were moving here, my son in particular literally put on his headphones, got up from the table, and didn't talk to us for 2 days. So there was definitely a lot of like managing their feelings, my fears, just, you're in a new place, you don't know anybody. And I credit going through my coaching certification in helping me get through that. I think I would have come at it as a mom, which of course I did, but as a mom, you want to fix everything. And as a coach, I was learning how to step back and really listen and ask them more questions and help them come up with their own best answers versus me trying to fix everything for them. So that was incredibly helpful. beautiful timing, divine right timing for sure.
And I love the fact that you put in what a coach does because most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And the fact you explain that a coach just opens you up to answer your own challenges is the key.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people think that coaching, coaching is relatively new as a industry. I mean, it's only been around about 20 years, 30 years. And yet a coach is a coach is a coach. Like I remember watching Ted Lasso and listening to so much of what he would say, the character would say to his football soccer team. And I was like, I say that to my clients all the time. This is never about giving advice. It's not like therapy in that we don't diagnose. We meet our clients where they are at in that moment and we help them move forward. Oftentimes therapy is a little bit more backward learning. How did you get here? And we're sort of like, okay, you're here now. Great. Let's go. What do you want? And how do we get you there in a way that is an alignment for you? Because I may have had very similar experiences to my clients, but what worked for me doesn't necessarily work for them. So it's really about asking really great questions, deep listening, and helping them come up with their own best answers and their own path forward.
And I don't know if you've resonated with this. You alluded to it a minute ago. The fact that your children, you use those coaching techniques on
Mhm.
on your children. And I mean the fact that if someone has a coach and they learn how to do these techniques,
Yep.
what they could actually bring back to their family, even their relationships.
Absolutely. No question. It's interesting because people come to me, women come to me for different reasons. And, they come and they think, oh, this is what I want to work on. And then it ends up being so much bigger than that. And oftentimes, yes, what they're learning with me and they're implementing in their own life. The way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So even if they're building their business or if it is a relationship situation, it inevitably trickles down to everything else in your life as well. So when you hire a coach, even with a specific goal in mind, you're going to see the impact of it in every area of your life, no question.
And the fact that you saw that in the area for your family and for your relationships and during a whole big move,
Yep.
how did you go from starting your own business, having this move,
Yep.
having the adjustment of your children with the move? How did you balance that using your coaching?
I think I guess it goes back to finding my own best answers, right? So it's been I've had the business open, I guess now almost 8 years, and it's still always evolving. It's showing up in what's working for me right now, recognizing that I'm not married to any of my ideas, sort of holding a desired outcome very lightly. So when we first moved here, it was about working when they were at school so that when they were off school, I was available to be with them and listen and support them. And we were joking before we got on, I have an Irish last name. I always wanted to be Irish. My daughter was actually a champion Irish dancer in Chicago. And so when we moved out here, we had moved her into a new Irish dance school. So there was still a lot of driving things, even though we were new to the city, it was driving everywhere and so forth. So I think that was it at the beginning. And then as they got more settled, I could open up my time to more clients, to again, working for the Health Coach Institute. So it's really knowing that everything's a flow and what worked 7 years ago doesn't necessarily work today, and being willing to not hold on to any particular desire so hard that I can't see the opportunities that are put in front of me. So I'm a big believer in hold everything very lightly, because if you start to put blinders on, then you miss all this great stuff that's happening outside the blinders.
Outside of the box, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, everything's always, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm always coming up with something that is, either hearing something going, "Oh my god, that would be so much a great idea," and listening to our people going, "Okay, this is really what they want. So let's
Yeah.
give them what they want." And if you hold on tight to something you think and you don't
Mhm.
listen to them, What
Yep.
are we missing here, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hard thing to do because when you're trying to set goals and you think there is a how, you think there is a way to get there, you could really stall your progress by being so attached to steps and instead of letting things unfold lightly. And that's sort of a feminine energy. We're used to being in a world of go, accomplish, go, 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 do. And that masculine energy is important in some ways, but being able to step in or balance it with the feminine energy and the flow and just letting things unfold naturally, is I just find it makes life a lot easier and a lot more joyful, quite frankly.
Yeah, I love your ebb and flow. All right. What advice do you have for other women who are trying to grow their business and maybe they're struggling a little bit? What advice?
I would say patience, I think, is the first thing. Having worked with many entrepreneurs, we get impatient. We try something and it doesn't land exactly the way we think it is. And so we throw that out and we try something else. And what we don't realize is so often what we're doing is we are planting seeds that are going to sprout some other time. I used to always say, you don't plant an apple seed and eat an apple the same day. And so the idea of wanting it now and not having a lot of patience, and we live in a world where everything comes to us pretty quickly, so we've lost our ability in some respects to have patience, coupled with, oh my gosh, compare and despair. Watching other women entrepreneurs or even men entrepreneurs succeed faster than us. And we don't know, especially if we're seeing all of this on social media, we don't know what's gone behind the success and how many times they failed and how many times they had to pivot and those sort of things. So we think oh, I want that, so I should be doing what they're doing. Well, not necessarily. Give the things that feel in alignment for you, whether it's marketing or networking or whatever it might be, give it some time to grow before you throw it out, and just sort of be patient and try desperately not to compare and despair, because it comes right down to, if you're not willing to do exactly the same things that other person did, you can't really compare anyways, because it's apples to oranges.
Yeah. So I love Burlesque, the show.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
And one of my favorite parts is when Cher, one of the dancers comes out, she's mad at her. She was the top dancer and said, um, they don't come to listen to us sing. They come to just watch us dance.
Mm.
And right before that, Christina Aguilera bolted out because all the music went off. She started bolted off singing. And she says they come to listen to her sing. And the girl
Mm.
goes, she didn't pay her dues. We started
Mm.
this. And she goes, you don't know what kind of dues that girl paid. She goes, because she wouldn't be able to sing like that if she didn't pay some dues.
Right.
And so, yeah, so that is my theory of the same thing that you're talking about, is
Yeah.
because we don't know what happened in the background at all.
Yeah. And I think social media has made it in somewhat, I want to say, worse, because, mostly people are showing all the good parts of their life. They're not showing necessarily. I try to sort of show all of it. But not most people don't. But even before social media, any kind of media, you didn't see how they got there when they get on the front cover, even back in the day, the weight loss things on People magazine, it was like they showed the before and after, but they didn't show the messy parts in between. And so consequently, we think, oh, you do this and then you do this and ta-da. And there's so much, again, ebb and flow as you're building a business or maintaining a business.
Yeah, even with, let's talk Weight Watchers. I mean, you just don't know, or people losing weight, just
Yeah.
people losing weight in general. I mean, I've seen people do this before, actually sit on their hands when dessert came by
Mm.
because
Mm.
they just didn't. I mean, they were paying a price. I mean, that you
Yep.
know,
Yeah, it's funny because one of the reasons the name of my company is Transformation for Real is when I was at Weight Watchers, I had so many people. The feedback I got the most, the two pieces. One was, I had a gift to be able to manage a room and make everybody feel seen and heard. But the other piece was you're so real, because I was that leader that stood up there and said, gosh, I went over by 90 points this week. I love wine. I love milk duds. Like, I was very much about making sure that, as I said at the beginning, we were doing this in small, sustainable ways. It took me 2 years to lose 25 pounds. Lots of people can do that in months, but I knew that I could keep it off that way. I didn't love getting on the scale and have it go up, but I also knew, okay, this is just a moment in time. And so it's watching people deprive themselves. Oh, talk about something that's heartbreaking. And that can, again, we're talking about weight loss now, but that can be in any realm of your life when you think, oh, I have to suffer to make my goal. No, you don't have to.
No, but that's what people think. And I mean,
Yep.
what a great, we all can relate to weight, either gain or loss or whatever.
Yep.
And that's why I brought it back up. But I mean, yeah. It's so, but yeah, you're 100% on that
Yeah.
one. Oh my God. In every area of my life.
Yep. Every area.
All right. So knowing what you know now and everything you've done, especially in business, what would you go back and tell that 18-year-old self?
It's interesting because I definitely self-identify now as a pretty confident person, and that's been reflected to me over the years that I am, and I receive that. But I recently did find a journal from when I was 18, and the self-doubt and the and again, we as women, we do this so much, the self-talk that was critical, all of that. And yet, at that same time, I have friends still to this day who knew me back then who would have said, oh, you've always been confident. But I didn't feel that, back then. So I wish, and luckily, I really feel like I'm seeing this with my daughter. I wish I knew then that I had the confidence within me, because once I was really able to just embody that, everything in my life changed. The ability to know that, like, again, everything happens exactly as it should. I'm confident enough to know that even something crummy happens, that I'm going to get something out of it, that I'm going to learn something, that I'm going to be able to move forward. And because I work with so many women who really lack that piece of it, that feels like what I wish I could tell any 18-year-old girl. Please, please, please just have some confidence in yourself. You're going to go so much farther if you can just believe in yourself.
This no junk's going to happen and
Yep.
you're going to get out of it.
Yep. Yep. It's all temporary.
Everything is temporary.
Yep.
All right. So what is one key strategy that has helped you advance in your business?
I think it's being willing to pivot, being willing to, a couple of years ago, the Health Coach Institute shifted the way they were working with their students, and they pulled the coaches out of the equation. And so a bunch of us got laid off. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go all in with really focusing on just my business. I'm not going to try to get another job. And then at the same time, I was co-creating my podcast with my co-host, and our podcast is The Things We Know. And so it was just like opening up to opportunities as they presented themselves. And again, kind of going back with the confidence thing, like when we decided to create a podcast, it never once crossed my mind that it wouldn't work. I was just sort of like, yep, this is what we're doing now. So I think the ability to pivot, and then also just trust that it's going to work out. You may not know exactly how, might not look exactly like the way you thought, but just trust the process, so to speak.
It's never how I want it. It's never how I thought it's going to happen.
Yep.
But it happens.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
never
It does.
how I want it. All right. Can you share any future plans that you have that we need to keep an eye out for?
Sure. Yeah. With the podcast, again, The Things We Know, which you can hear anywhere, we actually have retreats for women as well. We're on our fourth one. We'll be in October in Chicago. So they're called the Best Chapter Yet retreats, and they're small, intimate, about 20 women. And it's a weekend full of letting go of what's not helping you at this point. And in that letting go, you're opening up space for the next best chapter of your life and really starting the process off there. So you walk away with actionable items to step into whatever's next in this journey of life. So we have 2 retreats a year, and our next one is coming up in October in Chicago.
Do you have a website to sign up, or is it by invitation only?
No, you can go and sign up. If you go on to the thingsweknowpodcast.com, you will see a link in there to find out more. And I will say it's not invitation only, but I really like it when somebody is a little bit curious and they don't know if it's for them, and they reach out to me so that I can talk about it with them, because it might not be. You might not be ready. So we're never trying to hard sell, because they always fill. So it's really just, let's have that conversation if you're curious if this is the next best step for you or not. And if not now, maybe at another retreat down the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you had a superpower for one day, just 24 hours, come on, this is fun. What would it be?
Oh gosh. So that's funny, because I always say my superpower is that I believe in you until you believe in you. So I was like, oh, I just already have a superpower. But if I was going to have a Superman sort of superpower, I think I'd want to be invisible.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to just kind of walk around and watch people without feeling like they're watching me, just kind of fly on the wall situation, I guess.
Well, I'm a people watcher, and I don't care if they look back. That's really fun.
Yeah.
All right. What's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
Okay. So my fun fact is my husband and I graduated from Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And there's lots of colleges people meet their husbands in college, but Miami has done a thing where they call it a Miami merger. So if 2 people from Miami graduated and got married, you're considered a Miami merger. And in their bicentennial, which I think was 2011, they invited any Miami merger back to get remarried. So we had like a recommittal ceremony. And there were so many of us that were in the Guinness Book of World Records. There was a couple there that had been married, like they were in their 70s. They'd been married forever. And a couple who had gotten married the day before, and they just did their vows again. And so we're in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most people being remarried at once or something. I don't know.
How cool is that?
Isn't that weird?
Cool. That is cool. I like it. I like when people give me their fun facts and they're so unique.
Yeah, that's pretty unique.
I mean, we could have added that to your intro. She's in the Guinness World Records.
Yeah. Maybe I should start adding that to my bio. Be like, what?
That would be fun. All right. What's a favorite book or books?
My favorite book for work that I give to almost any woman that will listen to me is The Confidence Code by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman. It came out in, I want to say, like 2014, and Claire Shipman has been on ABC and CNN. Katty Kay does BBC America. She's one of the hosts. And their whole theory was, why are some people more confident? Are they born that way? Are you nurtured into that? Why are men more confident than women? And can you learn to be more confident? And the answer is yes, all of those things. Some people are born that way. Some people nurture into it. And you can certainly learn to become more confident. And they give some tips around that, some actionable ways to build your confidence.
Yeah, confidence is key. I love that
book. It really is.
It is a fabulous book. You teach on confidence as well.
I do. Yep.
Song. Do you have a few songs or a song?
I mean, I have so many songs, but the one that right now, and this has been like this for me for about a year, or it's maybe not been out this long, but there is a Sia song called Immortal Queen, and there's always a special guest on it. So she's had several versions, but the most recent has Shaka Khan and Debbie Harry on it. And it is just that. So we play it at our retreats as sort of like the comeback song. It's on about 5 different playlists. I don't know why I just keep adding it to different playlists, but it's just such a great song for a fire up for sure. And to really feel your queen self.
I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
awesome.
can't. I probably heard it and my brain's just going numb to it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Shaka Khan, I got it.
Yo, yeah, it's funny because Debbie Harry doesn't. I mean, she's older, so it doesn't totally sound like back in the day Blondie, but the lyrics are amazing, and the three voices just really meld really well together.
All right. It's one of my go-to new ones I have to
Yay.
listen to. Yeah. All right. Your favorite quote.
So my favorite quote, here I do have two. One, and I've heard this tied to Henry Ford. I've heard it a bunch of different ways, but if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It really does. Whatever you put your attention to is what you're going to get. So if you're always looking at the compare and despair, if you're always looking at the ways other people are doing quote unquote better than you, then you're always going to feel that. But if you're always looking at, again, the way things could be working out for you, you're going to see more of that. And of course, that is motivating. Either way, you're going to fall down a rabbit hole. You get to choose. And so then my other quote comes from Abraham Lincoln, and it is, the best way to predict the future is to choose it. And that's really what this comes down to. Again, if you could put those two together, you get to choose what you're focusing on, what you're putting your attention to. And you can choose to look at all the bad things. That's all you're going to see, or you can know there are bad things happening and try to find out what's working for you. And that's just, again, a much more joyful life.
That is amazing quotes. I cannot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, what is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
The best way for sure would be to go to my website, which is transformationforreal.com. You can join my mailing list. And when you join my mailing list, you get my little ebook on confidence, which is called Reclaiming Your Confidence, 10 Empowering Ways for Women to Rise. So I only send about one email out a month. So you're not going to be over inundated with a ton of emails, but there's always an article, some new things that are coming up, events. That's where you hear about our retreats. And I'll be reflecting on whatever podcasts have come out that month as well.
That's amazing. And what about you? Is there anything else you personally want to share with our audience?
Yeah, for any woman that's listening to this, just know that you're amazing. And there's probably lots of ways in society, perhaps in your own personal surroundings, where you're being told you're not enough. How dare you? Who do you think you are? And again, you can believe that if you want, but really, just by the nature of being born, you're an amazing human being. And women have so many opportunities right now to really step into their power and change this world. And it's the absolute mission I have with my clients, no matter why they come to me. I figure if they are making a difference and stepping into their power in their own life, it is going to ripple out into the world. And gosh, this world's never needed feminine energy more than it does right now.
Definitely. All right, Lisa, you were amazing. Thank you for being on with us today. And I cannot wait to see you inside the magazine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was great.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.